Hey, how's it guys? Alright, so in this video, we're going to learn how to build a retail dashboard together. Now, here's the dashboard that we'll be building. So it's a pretty professional looking dashboard. And to be honest, if you can build a dashboard like this, then this can basically get you into your first interview. Now, a couple of things. Let me resize the page. Alright, so in this dashboard, we have several components. So we have the logo, the title, the timestamp when the data set is last updated, filters to select different years and month. We have two different criteria that we can choose from. And here we have this reset button. Now, in terms of the charts, so we're going to build a couple tables, two horizontal bar chart, and a map right here, right in the middle. On the top right corner, we have this trend graph. And here, let me select all the years. And this is going to display the sales trend based on the filter values. Now, right here we have three indicators. I believe that those are the summaries or the core summaries that you want to present to the users. So just a very basic dashboard, but to be honest, like I said before, this is actually good enough to get your first interview. I'm going to put the dashboard on a different screen since I need to use this as a reference. Now, before we dive into the tutorial, you can download all the resources such as the dataset that I'm using, the background image or the background template, and the push buttons icons. Alright, so first we need to import the dataset. In this case, I'll be using an Excel file. Let's take a look. That containing four tables. Data table returns people, so this is going to be the staff of the company, orders. Now the orders table here is going to containing the core information or the core data set that I'll be using that containing most of the metrics. All right, so let's go ahead and create a blank Power BI file. Then you want to go to File, Options, and Settings. Then go to Options. Now on the data load, you want to make sure that you enable this auto date time for new files. So what this option is going to do is it's going to automatically create a hierarchy based on a dates field. Then I'm going to load the data by going to Home, Excel Workbook, and here I'm going to select the data file. I'm going to select all the tables. Then I want to click on Transform Data because notice that here, even though from the Excel file, we can definitely see the column name, but for some reason in the Power BI file, the application is not able to recognize the headers. So going to click on Transform Data. Then we're going to go through each table to make sure that the table has the correct headers. Right, so for example, for the people table, it's using the headers as the first row. So I want to go to Home. Then click on Use First Row as Headers. And we'll do the same for the other table. Now I want to click on Close and Apply to save the changes. Now once the tables are loaded, I want to create the relationships by going to Model View. So just an FYI, I may make mistakes throughout this tutorial. And the dataset is actually quite outdated. I'm using a dataset from 2016. Now, when I map my relationships, I like to put the core table right in the middle. So the people table, the relationship is already mapped. Now for the returns table, we want to map the order ID to the order ID inside the orders table right here. And it's going to be many-to-many relationships because you can have multiple orders that map to multiple returns. The dates table is going to be my calendar table. So this basically serves kind of like a reference table for the mapping. All right, so here I'm going to drag the dates field against the order dates column. And that should be it. So it's going to be the relationship. Now I'm going to save the file. All right, so I'll name this as sales dashboard E1. Now let's go to the report view and let's get started with building the dashboard. All right, so first we need to, actually I need to take a look at the dates field to make sure that I have the hierarchy. So here I have the year, quarter, month, and day values from the dates column. Now expand the format panel. Then we want to go to canvas. We want to insert the background template. So browse the background image, which you can also find the link in the description below. Now, by default, it's going to set the transparency to 100% and want to decrease this to 0%. Now, because the image is created using a 4K monitor, so I want to change the image fit to fit. Then I want to use a different color theme. So I'm going to choose classic. So that's actually one of my favorites. Now, to create these summary numbers using the car visual. So here, let's go to visuals, insert, and more visuals. So this visual that I like to use, which gives me more functionalities on top of the regular advanced car visual. All right, so here, search for advanced car, and it's going to be the first one. So this advanced car visual comes with more options than the default car visual. So let's choose this one, and let's import a visual. And it's free, by the way. I'm going to add a visual. Next, to prevent the visuals constantly getting updated, which is going to slow me down, I'm going to go to optimize. Then I'm going to pause visuals update. Let's go ahead and insert the advanced car visual. I'm going to use this visual to display the timestamp when the dataset is last updated. Now let's expand the orders table here. I'm going to create a measure. All right, so let's call this as of date. I'm going to insert the max function, and I want to figure out the latest date from the orders, order dates column. Then I'm going to drag the field to the data field. Now let me decrease the zoom. Okay, so when you look at the output, it's not very user-friendly. I'm going to turn off the category label, and that's going to move the text lower a little bit right in the center. Then I'll expand data label. All right, so here let's decrease the font size to 16. And for the font, let's use Calibri. So this is actually one of the popular font. Then I'm going to turn on let's do prefix label. So this will allows me to add text in front of the formula's output. All right, so here I'm going to type as of date and colon. Now here I want to change the dates format. I don't want to display the time. I just want to display the dates. So let's take a look. So let's go to the measure and on the top. So here we can change the format. And let's do this one here, March 14, 2015. And also change the label color to something else. All right, so let's see. Let's create the cars. So I'm going to create the top labels first. All right, so here on the insert ribbon, want to insert a text box. And let's type. The first one's going to be total sales. I'm going to make this bold, and I'll change the font style, as well as the font size. Yeah, I think let's do 14. And we'll center the text. And let's let's resize the text box. All right, so for the font color, I'm going to change that to white. And I noticed that I think there's a background color. Now let's center the text box by in the center, somewhere right here. Then I'm going to make 2 more copies. And I'll place one here, another one here. Now this one I'm going to name this as profit. And the other one I'm going to name this as profit ratio. Now let's insert the card visual. And it will be this one here. Now the card visuals are going to display a single metric summary. And here, let's do this. So I'm going to create a measure under the orders table. Now this one's going to be the value of total sales. And let's make this as a singular total sale. And we're going to sum the sales total from the orders table, sales column, and enter. Then we're going to create 2 more measures. This one's going to be total profit. And we're going to sum the profit column. And the last one's going to be ratio, profit ratio. And we can calculate the ratio by using the divided function. And we're going to divide the total profit by total sales. Now, just in case if the output returns either 0 or invalid, then we want to return 0. All right, so let's go ahead and drag the total sale measure to the first car and refresh. And let's expand the visual here. All right, so a couple of things we need to do. Let's see. Decimal. Okay, so on the call out value, we want to set the decimal place to 1. And for display units, you can set that to auto. And let's go back to call out value. And I'll change the font color to white. And I'll change the font style. Now under properties, I'm going to turn off the header icons. Now go back to visual. I want to turn off the category label. And I also want to make sure that background is turned off. Then let's resize the the visual here. I think that looks pretty good. All right, then I'm going to make a copy of the card. So you can think each card as a template for reusability. So I'm going to copy the visual here. Then I'm going to place the value. So this is going to be profit. And it's going to be ratio, profit ratio. All right, so this one is not displaying the value. Let's take a look. Oh, it's not taking the value. Yeah, give me a second. Let me try again. I'm going to delete the card again. I'm just going to make a copy. So that way that the size is going to be the same. Now I want to display the ratio with the percentage symbol. So to do that, let's click on the measure, profit ratio. Now under format, I want to change that to percentage. And let's change the decimal to 0. Let's make it that as a whole integer. All right, so let's save the file. Next, let's create the sales by country table. So let's go ahead and create these two tables here. All right, so look for the table visual. And I noticed that I used the wrong background template. Here, let me go back to Canvas. And let me fix the background template. Yeah, so what I was looking for was the category title. Now let's resize the table here. Drag the country field. The sales column, it should be this one here. And the profit ratio. All right, so for the table size, I'm going to set this to 277 by 320. Now go into grid. I'm going to change the color of the border to light gray. So you can choose any color you want. And for the global font size, let's set that to 11. Then I want to go down to column headers. And we'll change the font style. And we're going to set the header alignment to the left. And we'll turn off the auto resize. Now we're going to modify each column individually by going to specific column. All right, so for the country column, and I don't see the color on the list. Here, let me just go ahead and insert the hex value. And it's going to be 13,106,191 for the RGB value. And let me open Notepad. All right, so I'm going to paste the hex value because I'll be referencing the value later. And for the background color, let's set that to white. Now let's do the sales column. So for the sales column, the only thing that I want to change is the background color. For the font color, I'm going to use conditional formatting. I'll set the background to white. And for the display units, I'll set that to thousands. And I'll change the decimal places to 1. All right, so here we can change the column headers by directly rename the field, and it's going to be sales. And let's resize the column. Now let's work on profit ratio. And this one's going to be the same. We'll change the background to white. And for the display unit, I'll set that to default. Now let's work on conditional formatting by going to cell elements. The first one is going to be sales. And I want to apply the row to font color. For the lowest value, use one of the color that you like. I'll use this maroon color right here. And for highest value, I'll set this to this green color right here. Then click on OK to apply. Now I'll do the same for profit ratio. Now this one's optional. In case if you don't want to display the totals, we can go to, let's see, we can go to totals. And I'll turn off the totals. Okay, I need to refresh the change. Okay, so I think that overall looks much better. And let me just check one more thing. Okay, I'm going to make the headers bold. And let me decrease the font size to 10. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now let's work on the category table, sales by category. So what we can do here is we can simply copy this table as a template and just make a copy. Then all we need to do is we just need to update the field. I'm going to add a new column, orders, and category. Now I'm going to move category to the top. And refresh. Now I'm going to change the font color to the category column. Right, so go to specific column and change the font color right here. Oh, this should be category. Now, because I already applied the conditional formatting rules to both the sales and profit ratio counts, so when I duplicate this table here or the table visual, you'll retain all the elements that were already created. So in this case, I don't need to recreate the conditional formatting rules for these two counts. Now let's create the map visual. So this one's going to be the Azure. Let's take a look. It'll be under maps, and we're going to use the Azure map visual. This one is a little bit tricky, just because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But for me, most of the time it works. So I'm going to use the Azure maps for now. Now, just in case if the map visuals does not work, then you can use the other map visual as a replacement. Now here I'm going to drag the city field to location. Then I'm going to drag the sales column to the size field and refresh. Now go ahead and turn off the title. And on the, let's see, map settings, I'm going to change the style from default to row. And you can play around with different style. Then I'm going to turn off style picker in navigation. I'm going to expand filters here. Now for the filter type, let's do top N. And we'll set this to top 30. Then we're going to drag the sales column. And that should be it. Now there's one more thing we need to do under layer settings. Now because I already play around with the data set, so I didn't know the minimum value that I need to set. So it's going to be 44713. And for the maximum, let's do 256367. Now if I want to change the circle color, you can go to bubble layer. And for the size, I want to set the minimum to 6 to make that a little bit bigger. So border just the line outside the bubble. And we decrease the border to 1 pixel. And I'll change the layer position to above labels. Right. Now, this is one way that you can change the way how the presentation looks. So we can zoom in one to the point. Right, so here notice that because I don't see that many bubbles and all the bubbles are about the same size. So by looking at that, I immediately notice that there's some problems with the visual. And turns out that I forgot to set the top value. And maybe we do this one here. And I think I forgot to click on apply filter before. I think that looks pretty good overall. And we go ahead and refresh the page. All right, so what's going on here? All right, so I'm trying to figure out why my tables is filtered by, I don't know, there's something going on here. Okay, I'll fix that later. But for now, let's finish the remaining of the charts. Now let's work on sales first profit by subcategory. So this one is also another table. So I can simply copy one of the table visual. And I'll copy and paste. And these two can be the same height. Now again, I really want to fix the filter. Oh, I know why. Because here I accidentally click on office supply. So it could be why. Okay, so that was indeed the issue. Now here for the sales first profit by subcategory, we need to take out country and we need to add the subcategory to the top. Total sales, total profit, right under sales. All right, let me do this. I'm going to go to optimize. It won't let me select the tab. I guess that was the issue before. Anyway, let me finish this first. Then I'm going to restart my file. I'm going to add profit. Going to go into here. All right, so let me save the file and reopen the file. Okay, I'm going to turn off pause visuals. So first thing first, I'm going to rename one of the column. Let's rename sum of profit to just profit. So I want to use sales and profit columns as a mini bar chart. That'll give the users a pleasant visualization effect, kind of like this. All right, let's go into grid. And make sure that global font size is set to 11 or 10 based on your resolution. Then we want to turn off total sales. Then go to specific column. Now go ahead and change the background color to the blue color that I was using before. Then change the background color to white. Then we need to change the font color to total sales. Actually, this one is going to be based on conditional formatting. So I'm only going to change the background color to white. And for the display units, I'll change this to thousands. For decimal places, I'll change that to 1. Now let's work on sales. This one I'm going to set the display units to none. So this is going to get modified as a mini bar chart. So in theory, we don't even need to worry about these for now. Then we'll go to total profit. Change the background color to white. And for the display units, change that to thousands. Now let's work on conditional formatting. So go to cell elements. And the first one is going to be total sales. Turn on the font color rules. And we change the lowest color value and the highest value color. And we'll do the same thing for total profit. Now to transform sales and profit columns to look like this horizontal bar chart in the table, we need to do two things. So first, let's go to sales. We need to turn on both font color and data bars. And let's work on data bars first. I'm going to keep positive bar color the same for the negative value or the color value. I'm going to set that to, let's do this one here, white, 10% darker gray. Oh, and I forgot. And make sure that you check the show bar only. Okay, great. And that's actually what I want. So I can actually turn off font color. Now we'll do the same for profit. We'll turn on data bars and we'll simply make sure that show bar only is checked. And for the positive bar color, let's use this in a light blue color. Actually, that does not look very good. Let's change the color of negative bar to something else. Alright, so I forgot to do one thing. Go to specific column and change the column to profit. And make sure that you update the background color to white. And that's the look that I want. Then we're going to sort the table by subcategory. Now we're done with the sales first profit by subcategory table. Now we need to create the horizontal chart by top 5 cities by sales and top 5 cities by profit. Alright, so let me save the file and reopen the file again. Right, so choose the stock bar chart. And we're going to put that right here. And for the fields, it's going to be city in the y-axis. and total sale in the x-axis. Now this one is going to be top 5 cities. So we're going to go to filters and make sure that the visual is select. I want to change filter type by top N, and it's going to be top 5 by total sales, and apply. Now let's go ahead and turn off the title. And on the y-axis, change the font name. And for the maximum width, I'll set this to 29, just until when you can see the city name. Now inside x-axis, I'm going to turn out value. And that's going to turn off the x-axis labels. So the whole point by removing the labels is just to let the users know that who are the top 5 cities by different categories. Now let's go to bars. And let's stick with the same color. Now turn on the data labels. And want to change the position to outside in. All right, under value, fix the font name. I'm going to change the display unit to thousands. I'm going to make that as 1 decimal place. Now expand the chart until all 5 bars are displayed. Okay, I think that looks okay. Now make a copy of the chart. Now for this one, it's pretty easy. We know what to do. So we're going to change that to from sales to profit. And for the bar color, I'm actually going to change the bar color to something else. Let's use a different green. Now we're almost done with the dashboard. Alright, so on the top, let's work on the logo first. So I'm going to go to Insert and click on Image. Oh, and I've got my logo. Let me grab the logo real quick. I'm going to select my logo image. I'm going to change the fit to under image style. I'm going to change that to fit. And actually, not let's do normal. And I'll simply resize the image. So make sure that you hold the Shift key. So when you resize the image, the ratio is going to keep the same. I think right there looks pretty good. Then I'm going to select the text box. Now change the font color to white. And update the font name. Right, so where's my text box? Okay, so it's right here. Now let me type my channel name first, JJ Power BI. And I'll make that bold. Increase the font size to 14. And resize the text box. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Then I'm going to insert a pipe by inserting a shape. So the line shape. Alright, so go ahead and resize the line. And I'm going to rotate the line by going to rotation. Then we're going to rotate by 90 degrees. Then we're going to change the line color to white by going to Shape Style and update the color. Actually, I think that might be border. Let me try it. Okay, border. And put that right here. Then we're going to insert another text box. And let me just make a copy of this one here. And this one's going to be the dashboard title, retail store dashboard. Or you can do retail store sales summary. Let's do retail store sales summary. And I'm going to turn off the bold for the font style. All right, so let me move this to the left just a little bit. All right, so almost there. Let's insert the filter. All right, so on the slicer, click on slicer. And we're going to create two slices, one for year and one for month. Now from the dates table here, we're going to expand dates column. And remember the hierarchy that was created? We're going to drag the year column or the year field to the slicer. Now here, go ahead and turn on the background. And we're going to set the transparency to 100%. Then on the options, and it should be on the slicer setting. Options style. Want to change that to drop down. Now here we have a couple options. So if you want to enable the multi-slab when you hold the Control key, then you can turn on the second option. But I usually like to leave this off, and I'll enable Show Slide All option. All right, let's go into Slicer header and update the font name. And let's increase this to 11. Let's do 10.5. Now for the background color on the slicer header, let's change this to the light gray color. Actually, that doesn't look right. All right, so let me do this. I'm going to simply insert the hex value. And for the RGB value, it's going to be 247 for red, green, and blue. All right, so I want to change the drop-down background color, and I believe that this is on the values background color, and change that to white. Then I'm going to make a copy. And I'll simply update this to month. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now save the file. All right, so this is going to be the last part, creating the sales trend. And this one is actually the most complicated component in this dashboard, but which is not too bad. All right, so let's go ahead and create a line chart. For the x-axis, this is going to be date, so the time period. And for the y-axis, this one is going to be sales. Now, because our filter here is only by year and month, so we need to make sure that the category match to the filters. Now go ahead and turn off title. All right, so let's take a look. For the date range, I did look at the data set. It's going to be January 1st, 2012 to January 1st, 2016. You can also use conditional formatting to automatically set the date range. But for now, I'm going to set the date range manually. And turn on values. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. So go ahead and update the font name. And make sure that you resize the visual until all the elements are displayed. Otherwise, it won't let you enable the value section. All right. So I'm going to put this right here. Okay, I think that looks okay. Now we need to create two buttons to toggle between the sales trend for sales and profit. So I'm going to insert two images. So we have 4 images to represent the toggling effect. So by default, I want to enable the sales trend line. And let's resize this. I think that looks okay. I'm going to go to size and property, actually size and style. And I'll copy the size value. And it's going to be 28 by 96. And the location is going to be 689 and 161 for the vertical position. Then we're going to insert the other image, which is going to be the button for profit. All right, so for the size, it's going to be 28 times 96. And let's put this right here. And the location is going to be 689, 190. Now expand the selection panel. Oh, and oh shoot, there's one more thing I forgot. All right, so let's go ahead and group the items for the sales trend section. So it's going to be, let's name this as total sales enable. So let's name this to total sales on, and this one will be profit off. And simply hold the shift key and select the item that you want to group together, and use the shortcut Ctrl G. And let's name the group to sales trend grouping. Then I'm going to hide these two buttons. And which one is this one? I'm also going to move the line chart into the grouping as well. And this will be line chart sales. And we grab the location as well. All right, so this one's going to be 113 by 462 for the size. Location is going to be 807 by 117. And I'm going to hide the line chart as well. Actually, let's enable that. All right, let's insert the other two buttons. So this will be profit, and the other one is going to be total sales off. All right, so let's resize these two buttons first. 28 times 96. And the first image is going to be, which is the total sales button. I will need to set the location. 181. And this one's going to be 689 and 190. Now let's name the objects. This one's going to be profit on, and this one's going to be total sales off. And we'll move these two objects into the grouping. Right, so the default is going to be total sales button be displayed and profit off, and the other two images will be off. That means that we do not want to display those visuals. Now we're going to make a copy of the sales trend visual. let's move these to here. And this will be line chart, and this one's going to be for profit. Now I'm going to turn off the other visual just to make it less confusing. Then I'm going to update this graph. And we're going to replace this with total profit. All right, so this one I want to do, let's go back to /n. Now to create the toggling effect, we need to create two different states to display the snapshot when the visuals are displayed or for visuals that are not displayed. And you'll see in a second. Now expand bookmarks. And we're going to create two bookmarks. And let me make sure that this is going to be for, okay. So I need to turn the profit line chart off and enable the sales trend line chart. Let's call this as BM, bookmark dash, and this will be total sales. And we want to make sure that we don't sync the data. And this is only for select visuals. So I need to select all the visuals that are representing in the sales trend section. I can simply select the sales trend grouping, and this will automatically select all the items. Then we want to go to the bookmark, then update. Now we need to update the other bookmark for a profit snapshot. And I'll name this one as BM dash total profit. Now I'm going to turn off the data sync and only for select visuals, but I need to make sure that I select the visuals first. Okay, so make sure that the grouping is select. Then I'm going to change to select visuals, then update. And let me just double check. Okay, and I think that looks good. Now I need to select the buttons. So when a user click on profit, when the total sales line chart is displayed, so I want to make sure that we assign the bookmark action. So go to action, and here for the type, make sure that you choose bookmark, and this will be BM dash total profit. Let's go back to the other bookmark. They want to select the total sales button that is disabled, and this one will be total sales, and that should be it. All right, let's give it a try. So I'm going to hold the Control key. Oh, let me see. Let me close this. And we go ahead and save the file. Why is not? Okay, why this is not updating? Let me take a look. Okay, I see I know why. Let's do this. Yeah, because the action did not get updated. Okay, I think that might solve the issue. Now let me try again. So I'm going to hold the Control key and select the button. Okay, and that works. So this is the profit and total sales toggling effect. Alright guys, so this is the dashboard, and it took a while to create, but to be honest, if you can create a dashboard in less than 4 hours, to create something like this in less than 4 hours, then in general, I'll consider that to be pretty fast. Yeah, here, I noticed that I need to fix this real quick. So the background color is not updated, and it should be white. Okay, and is the final version of the dashboard. Now, for testing, let me just simply change the choose the slicer or the drop down. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. And one last thing. Right, save the file and we're finished. So this is going to be everything I'm going to share in this Power BI tutorial, and hope you guys find this video useful. And feel free to post a question or feedback in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video.